clear that throat. The cold weather is here, so you know what that means. It's time for Spider-Man cosplayers to go into hibernation until it warms up again. Unless, of course, you're like me, and Spider-Man isn't just a hobby, but a lifestyle. And if you're anything like me, this means you've grown quite a collection of costumes for all your different possible needs. You got your casuals, good for podcasts and small events. You got your holiday specials. You've got your convention exclusives. And you got your charity events and public appearances. So, naturally, you got your suits for when the weather turns cold and the streets get icy. This list is going to be my own personal top 5 suits to wear when it gets cold. Again, I preface this with if I look at the Spider-Man catalog, I'm sure I'm bound to find ones that are a lot warmer than these. These are just picks from my own personal collection, as I have experience wearing them, so therefore I can speak on whether they are in fact warm to wear or not. Some of you may find that this makes the video sort of pointless, while others might find it sort of inspiring and helpful when thinking about the alternatives to what you might currently own in your collection. So, with that setup out of the way, I'm just going to dive on into this list. At number 5, we have a bit of a cheeky entry, and that's my Spider-Rex costume. This costume that is very available to the public is an inflatable, which means you can easily wear whatever you want underneath. When I wore this last Halloween, I was sweating real good in it, and I wasn't dressed even particularly warm. I had, some thick socks on, sweatpants, and a sweater. And I was toasty even in 40, 50 degree weather. I don't know how effective this would be in winter time, but for fall, it's actually a very practical option, and it's easy. So if you want to do something more low key for a con, which I've done before, it's also really great for that too, because you can just kind of slap it on, wear it around, and then take it off. Wouldn't wear it at your bigger conventions because of the tail and sort of some visibility and things, but for smaller cons with plenty of walking space, this isn't a bad option. Coming in at number 4, we have the Shattered Dimensions version of Spider-Man Noir. This one probably isn't as warm as the previous entry, but it allows for more freedom of movement and is an actual proper cosplay costume. So that's why I ranked it a little bit higher. These pants are also loose enough on me that I could probably get away with wearing a thick pair of leggings underneath to add just a little bit more warmth to it, but already as is in a sort of standard setting in fall weather, this one would be all right. Taking the bronze medal at 3rd is the Clone Hunter suit. The leather jacket of this suit is lined with fur, so this one heats up pretty good. Like the Shattered Dimensions Noir suit, I wouldn't go as far to say that it's as warm as maybe the Spider-Rex costume, but at least this one is, again, more like a proper suit. But I would say it's only probably slightly warmer than the Shattered Dimensions Noir suit. So that lands it at number 3. At number 2, we have the Turn Off the Dark suit. For those of you who've worn muscle suits before, this is probably not really much of a surprise for you. However, for those of you who haven't, you might be shocked to learn that nothing traps heat quite as effectively as foam muscles. The only caveat that of this suit is that while your body will certainly be toasty even in the dead of winter, your feet and hands definitely will not. In my suit particular, I don't have shoes installed. I use leather slippers, so to get the shape. It was just for to keep the overall look of the suit and for sake of getting into it and things, whatever. So point is, the only defense against my feet in the cold weather while wearing this thing is a pair of socks and, again, essentially some slippers. So that does keep it from being quite the warmest thing on the list. And yeah, while the muscles do trap the heat pretty good, it is still muscles attached to spandex, so there is some breathability, especially, a lot of your body heat escapes through your head, and so, probably it's not the hottest suit that I own, but it is a great option if you got the right pair of socks and probably some, better installed shoes than what I got. And rounding out my list at number 1 is none other than the most practical suit on the list for your winter and fall season, my comic Noir suit. This suit is deceivingly hot. The pants aren't particularly thick, but they're not exactly doing you any favors, and neither are the military grade boots, which are easily the most uncomfortable pair of foot protection I have ever worn. The mask is made with, I believe, real leather and cotton, like a cotton fabric, over a hard plastic face shell that is then lined with foam for comfort. So honestly, the thing is a sauna. You do get a bit of a breeze, ironically enough, through the padded ear sections of the mask, but otherwise there's nowhere for that heat to go. It immediately fogs up and you are running blind. I am literally sweating bullets within minutes of putting the mask on. And if that all wasn't enough, the thick vintage turtleneck is certainly going to keep you toasty, especially beneath, an authentic army trench coat from like the 60s. It was my uncle who fought in Vietnam, and so it is authentic, and it is lined, and it is designed to keep you warm. The gloves definitely aren't the warmest. They're pretty cheap, simple, like faux leather gloves, but even in fall, they get my hands sweating, and there is even a section that is popped open, and my hands will still sweat wearing those gloves. Like I said, they're not particularly thick or anything, but they do keep my hands warm. I do imagine in winter it would be worth switching to like a thicker, better quality pair, like a proper winter glove. But for fall, the ones I use for this suit are plenty fine. So that's it. That is my list of 5 suits for the colder seasons of the year. Again, these are specifically suits that I own in my own personal collection. But if you've never had to perform Spider-Man in the cold before and wanted some clever options maybe, this list might, help you out with that. Might point you in the right direction. So, yeah. Until next time, true believers, stay warm out there whilst living your Spider-Man fantasies.